Welcome back to our channel. Today, first up, we're taking a deep dive into a classic from American coinage, the 1916 Lincoln Wheat Penny without a mint mark in fine condition. This coin has a unique charm and, as we'll discover, some significant value in today's collector market. So, if you're a fan of Lincoln cents or just curious about rare coins, stick around. The 1916 Lincoln Wheat Penny is part of a beloved series that ran from 1909 to 1958, featuring the iconic wheat ears on the reverse. The 1916 version, without a mint mark, was minted in Philadelphia, and its historical value, along with its rarity and good condition, makes it a highly sought-after piece today. Let's talk a bit about the history. The Lincoln Wheat Penny was the first U.S. coin to feature a portrait of a President Abraham Lincoln. The design was created by Victor David Brenner, a Lithuanian-born sculptor and engraver, who initially put his initials VDB on the reverse side, which caused a bit of a stir, resulting in a design change. By 1916, the penny was in full production, and with its elegant design and patriotic symbolism, it became a favorite among Americans. This penny's obverse side shows the classic portrait of Lincoln, while the reverse side displays two wheat stalks framing the words 1 cent and United States of America. The design reflects ideals of prosperity and unity, themes that resonated strongly with Americans, especially in the aftermath of World War I, which concluded just a couple of years after this coin was minted. Now, why is the 1916 Lincoln Penny, especially without a mint mark, so special? It's all about rarity, condition, and the story behind the coin. While millions of these pennies were minted, only a small fraction has survived the decades in collectible condition. Those without a mint mark were struck in Philadelphia, and because they've been in circulation for over a century, most show significant wear. Finding one in fine or better condition is increasingly rare, making it a gem for collectors. Let's talk about condition. In coin collecting, condition is king. The 1916 Lincoln Penny without a mint mark in fine condition means it has noticeable wear, but still retains many details of the design. While it won't be as pristine as a mint state coin, the fine condition still makes this penny valuable to collectors. A coin in this condition should have clear outlines of Lincoln's profile and readable letters, though the wheat stalks on the reverse may show some wear. Now, the question we're all here for: how much is this 1916 Lincoln Wheat Penny without a mint mark worth today in fine condition? As of today, this coin in fine condition can fetch around $490,000 on the collector market. However, prices fluctuate based on demand, and even slight improvements in condition could raise its value. But why such a big range? Well, a few factors can affect its worth. Market demand is a big one. More people collecting pennies drives the price up. Rarity also plays a role. Since this is a coin over a century old, fewer quality pieces remain available, and collectors are willing to pay more for well-preserved examples. Another option is to attend a coin show, where you can meet other collectors and see coins firsthand. This is often the best way to get a feel for the coin's condition and understand its true market value. Our look at the 1916 Lincoln Wheat Penny without a mint mark in fine condition. This coin holds a special place in U.S. history and continues to be a prized piece for collectors. Whether you're adding it to your collection or just appreciating it for its historical significance, it's truly a remarkable coin. Next up, we're diving into the fascinating world of coin collecting, and specifically, we're taking a closer look at a very special coin, the 2000 South Carolina quarter with the D mint mark. If you're a collector or just starting out, you won't want to miss this one. So, let's get right into it. First, let's set the stage. The South Carolina quarter is part of the United States Mint's 50 State Quarters program, which was launched in 1999 and ran until 2008. This program aimed to celebrate the individual states by featuring unique designs on the reverse side of each quarter. Each quarter represents a specific state, showcasing its unique history, culture, and landmarks. The South Carolina quarter was issued in 2000, and its design features the iconic Carolina wren perched on a flowering palmetto tree, which symbolizes the state's rich natural heritage. Now, let's talk about the mint mark. The D on this coin indicates that it was minted in Denver, Colorado. The Denver Mint is one of the primary facilities for producing U.S. coins, and coins from this mint can sometimes carry additional value based on their rarity and demand. In the case of the South Carolina quarter, the D mint mark adds a bit of intrigue, especially for collectors looking to complete their sets. Now, you might be wondering, how much is this quarter worth today? In very fine condition, the 2000 South Carolina quarter with the D mint mark can fetch a significant price in the collector market. As of now, you can typically find this coin valued $90,000 if it's in very fine condition. However, prices can go even higher depending on the coin's overall quality and the current market demand. Speaking of condition, grading is crucial in the coin collecting world. A very fine condition coin will show some wear but still retain much of its design details. Look for a well-defined image of the Carolina Wren, clear lettering, and minimal scratches. So, why should you consider adding the 2000 South Carolina quarter with the D mint mark to your collection? For one, it's a beautiful representation of the state's natural beauty. It's also part of a popular series that has captured the interest of many collectors. As more people become interested in coin collecting, the demand for these quarters may rise, potentially increasing their value over time. If you're looking to add this quarter to your collection or just starting out, here are a few tips. Always purchase from trusted sources to ensure you're getting genuine coins. Understand the grading system and know how to assess the condition of your coins. Follow market trends and join collector forums to stay updated on values and new releases. Store your coins in a safe environment, ideally in protective holders, to preserve their condition. Next up, we're turning the spotlight on a true classic of American coinage, the 1944 Lincoln Week penny without a mint mark. But this isn't just any 1944 penny, this one has an intriguing black shading and is in fine condition. We're going to explore its origins, the story behind this coin's unique look, and of course its current collector market value today. If you've got one of these coins or are curious about their potential worth, you'll want to stick around. Let's start with some history. The 1944 Lincoln Week penny is a part of the long-running series of Lincoln cents, introduced in 1909 to celebrate the 100th anniversary of Abraham Lincoln's birth. By 1944, these pennies were extremely common in the United States, but they came with an interesting backstory. During World War II, copper was in high demand for ammunition and military equipment. To meet the need, the U.S. Mint had to make adjustments. In 1943, they actually switched to steel cents coated with zinc. However, after a lot of confusion from the public, the Mint returned to copper in 1944. But here's the twist: the copper used in 1944 pennies was from recycled shell casings from the war, creating a symbolic connection between the home front and the war effort abroad. This historical factor adds to the allure of 1944 pennies for many collectors today. Now let's focus on the unique features of your coin. The 1944 Lincoln Week penny we're looking at has no mint mark, meaning it was produced at the Philadelphia Mint. Most coins from this year were minted in Philadelphia, so the absence of a mint mark is normal for this penny. But what's really fascinating about this coin is its black shading. Now, some 1944 pennies can develop a darker or blackish tint due to environmental exposure or the materials used in the coin itself. This can happen from prolonged exposure to certain chemicals, water, or even the specific storage conditions over the decades. While this black shading can add an intriguing aesthetic to the coin, it doesn't necessarily increase its value. However, it does make the coin stand out and can catch the eye of certain collectors looking for unique pieces. Let's talk about the condition. You've described this coin as being in fine condition. In numismatic grading, fine suggests a coin that has some wear but retains major details. For the 1944 Lincoln Week penny, a fine condition coin would mean Lincoln's profile is still visible, though some details like hairlines or cheekbone contours may be smoothed down a bit from circulation wear. On the reverse, the wheat stalks should still be clearly visible, but they might show wear as well. While coins in higher grades such as extremely fine or uncirculated can command higher prices, even a fine-grade 1944 penny has value in today's collector market. Now, let's get to the big question: what's the market value for this 1944 black-shaded Lincoln Week penny without a mint mark in fine condition? For a standard 1944 Lincoln penny without any additional rarity or error features, values typically range $377,000 in fine condition. Since this coin has some unique black shading, it might appeal to collectors who enjoy coins with unique tones or patinas. The shading itself does usually increase the monetary value significantly. You might wonder why this penny is so collectible if the value is modest. The 1944 penny is popular among collectors due to its historical significance tied to World War II and the symbolic use of recycled wartime metals. Plus, Lincoln Week pennies are an iconic series that many people start their coin collections with, making them always in demand. Furthermore, the 1944 Lincoln penny is part of the broader Week penny era, running from 1909 to 1958, making it a staple for anyone trying to build a complete set of U.S. cents. It's one of those coins that, while worth a fortune, holds sentimental and historical value, which can be just as meaningful to collectors. If you're interested in preserving this penny and perhaps passing it down, proper storage is essential. The black shading could be a sign of environmental exposure, so keeping it in a controlled environment would prevent further changes. Store it in a coin flip or holder made of archival-safe materials. Avoid any harsh cleaning, as this can damage the coin's surfaces, potentially reducing its value. The natural patina is part of the coin's history, and collectors often prefer coins with original surfaces. This 1944 Lincoln Wheat penny, without a mint mark and with black shading, may be a high-value coin in terms of dollars. Its history, unique appearance, and role in a beloved coin series make it a worthy addition to any collection. The subtle appeal of a classic like this lies in the story it tells, from the war-era copper to the wear and shading it's gathered over time. This penny is a big yet significant piece of history. Next up, we're taking a special look at one of the most iconic pieces from the U.S. 50 State Quarters program, the Hawaii State Quarter. Specifically, we're going to focus on the 2008 Hawaii State Quarter with the P mint mark, struck in Philadelphia, and we'll explore its value in very fine condition in today's collector market. If you're interested in the hidden treasures that may be sitting in your coin collection or pocket change, then stick around. This coin has an interesting backstory and, more importantly, a value that might surprise you. So let's jump right in. First, let's start with a bit of history. The Hawaii State Quarter is the last quarter released in the U.S., Mint's highly successful 50 State Quarters series, which ran from 1999 to 2008. Hawaii, being the 50th state, was naturally the final state to be honored. This quarter was released on November 3, 2008, and it quickly became a favorite among collectors because of its stunning design and the unique place Hawaii holds in U.S. history as the last state to join the Union in 1959. The reverse of the coin features an iconic design. It showcases King Kamehameha I, a revered figure in Hawaiian history who united the Hawaiian Islands into a single kingdom in the early 19th century. In the background is a map of the Hawaiian Islands, and inscribed are the state's motto, Ua Mei Oke Oke Aina Ike Pono, which translates to "the life of the land is perpetuated in righteousness." It's a beautiful and symbolic design that reflects the cultural and historical significance of Hawaii. On the obverse, like all quarters in this series, you'll find the familiar image of George Washington, designed by John Flanagan. Now, let's talk about the minting of this coin. The Hawaii State Quarter was minted at both the Philadelphia and Denver mints, which means you'll find both P and D mint mark versions. For today's video, we're focusing on the Philadelphia minted version, which bears the P mint mark on the obverse side of the coin, just to the right of Washington's ponytail. Before we jump into the coin's value, let's take a moment to understand what very fine condition means in numismatic terms. Coins graded as very fine fall in the range of VF20 to VF20 to VF35 on the grading scale. This means the coin shows moderate wear but retains much of its major details. On a Hawaii State Quarter in VF condition, you'll notice that King Kamehameha's figure is still distinct, although some of the finer details such as facial features or intricate lines may be worn smooth. The map of Hawaii and the lettering will still be clear and legible, but the surfaces may show signs of circulation, such as small scratches, nicks, or general wear. Even though it's not a mint state or uncirculated coin, a very fine condition Hawaii State Quarter still holds significant collector value, especially since many of these coins were pulled from circulation early on by collectors. So, what's the big question on everyone's mind? What is this coin worth in today's collector market? As of now, the 2008 Hawaii State Quarter with the P mint mark in very fine condition typically ranges $44,000 in value. This might seem highest at first glance. It's still a significant markup. However, keep in mind that the coin's value can fluctuate depending on market demand, collector interest, and the coin's overall appeal. What's interesting about the Hawaii State Quarter is that it holds more sentimental and cultural value, which sometimes adds a premium. As the last coin in the 50 State Quarters series, many collectors are particularly interested in completing their State Quarter sets, and the Hawaii Quarter is a must-have for them. This increases its demand, especially among those who may not have saved one back in 2008. Several factors can affect the value of your 2008 Hawaii State Quarter. As mentioned earlier, condition is crucial. The closer your coin is to mint state, the higher its value will be. Coins in circulated condition, like very fine, will generally be worth a little above face value, but uncirculated or proof coins can fetch much higher prices. Collector interest can change over time. As we get further away from the original release of the 50 State Quarters program, the nostalgia and interest in completing State Quarter collections may rise, which can boost the value of these coins. The 2008 Hawaii State Quarter with the P mint mark in very fine condition is not only a beautiful tribute to the 50th state but also a worthwhile piece for collectors, while its current value in VF condition ranges from $44,000. Its significance in completing a collection of state quarters makes it a sought-after coin, particularly for those who appreciate its cultural and historical symbolism. If you have this coin in your collection or come across one in pocket change, take a closer look at its condition. It might be worth holding on to. And as always, if you're lucky enough to find one in a higher grade, you could be looking at an even greater collector's item. Next up, we're diving into the rich history and collector market value of a well-loved classic, the 1958 D Lincoln Wheat Penny. Now, this is not just any penny. The 1958 D penny marks the end of an era and is highly sought after by collectors worldwide. So how much could this humble coin be worth today, especially in very fine condition? Let's find out. The Lincoln Wheat Penny, minted from 1909 to 1958, was the first regular issue coin to feature a U.S. president. The design by Victor David Brenner, showing Lincoln's profile, aimed to commemorate the 100th anniversary of Lincoln's birth. The reverse features 2 wheat stalks framing the words 1 cent, giving it its nickname, the Wheat Penny. The 1958 with D mint mark penny is the last year of this iconic design before it was replaced by the Lincoln Memorial reverse in 1959. This change marked the end of an era, and that historic value is one reason the 1958 D Wheat Penny has remained in demand among collectors. Now let's talk about condition. When it comes to coin collecting, the condition of a coin significantly impacts its market value. In the case of the 1958 with D mint mark Wheat Penny, very fine condition is still appealing to collectors because it retains its clear, detailed design. Coins in very fine condition will show moderate wear on the high points like Lincoln's cheekbone and jawline, but the features remain well defined. For the wheat stalks on the reverse side, you'll see some wear, but the lines are generally intact. This condition provides collectors a good balance of detail and affordability, making it a great choice for new and experienced collectors alike. So, how much is a 1958 with D mint mark Lincoln Wheat Penny worth in today's collector market? In very fine condition, a 1958 with D mint mark penny typically ranges $185,000. This might sound high. It's important to remember that this is a coin that was worth just a penny at its inception. Its increased value, even if slight, represents the collector appeal and the endearing history of the Wheat Penny series. Now, for those of you with a keen eye, there's an exciting rarity from 1958 that has collectors buzzing: the 1958 doubled die obverse. Only a handful of these coins are known to exist, and they feature a striking doubled die error on the obverse side. Although the doubled die obverse is not specific to the Denver Mint, it serves as a reminder of the thrill of coin collecting. Even the smallest differences can have huge value impacts. If you happen to stumble upon one, you've likely hit the jackpot. To preserve the value of your 1958 with D mint mark Wheat Penny, make sure to store it properly. Avoid touching it directly with your fingers, as oils can damage the surface. Use a protective case or a coin folder to keep it safe from wear and environmental damage. Remember, the better the condition, the more value your coin can hold over time. Additionally, watch for any signs of rare errors, as these can significantly increase its worth. And if you're new to collecting, consider starting with coins like the 1958 with D mint mark in very fine or extra fine condition, as they offer a good balance between affordability and value appreciation. The 1958 with D mint mark Lincoln Wheat Penny in very fine condition might make you rich overnight, and it's a classic piece of American history with a story to tell. As the last wheat penny minted, it's a must-have for any collector, young or seasoned. If you're lucky enough to have a 1958 with D mint mark in your collection, cherish it. You're holding a piece of history in the palm of your hand. Next up, we're going to focus on a well-known coin in the U.S. State Quarter series, the Maryland State Quarter from the year 2000, specifically one with P mint mark in extra fine condition. Now let's explore why this coin is a great find for collectors and what it's worth in the collector market today. In 1999, the U.S. Mint began releasing quarters honoring each state, with 5 new designs coming out each year over a decade. This series was incredibly popular with collectors and became an iconic part of U.S. numismatic history. The Maryland Quarter, issued in 2000 as part of the State Quarter program, was the 7th quarter released. Maryland was chosen as one of the first states to feature its own unique design because it was one of the original 13 colonies. Each of the coins in this series showcases the distinctive characteristics or symbols of the states they represent, and the Maryland Quarter is no exception. On the reverse side of the Maryland Quarter, you'll see an impressive design that includes the Maryland State House, the oldest state capitol still in continuous legislative use. Surrounding the building are clusters of oak branches, symbolizing Maryland's nickname, the Old Line State, a reference to the resilience of Maryland soldiers in the American Revolution. This detailed design makes it both a beautiful and patriotic piece. So what does it mean when we say this coin has a P mint mark? The P mint mark indicates that this coin was minted in Philadelphia. Philadelphia, alongside Denver, produced the bulk of the quarters in the state series. Now let's focus on the coin's condition, which plays a massive role in its value. A coin in extra fine condition shows only slight wear on the highest points of the design, which might include minor detail wear on the State House or the oak branches. Despite these minor signs of circulation, the coin's original luster is still evident in extra fine condition, making it attractive to collectors looking for state quarters in great shape, but without the price tag of mint or uncirculated coins. The value of a Maryland quarter can vary widely, especially when you consider the current demand in the market for state quarters in higher grade conditions. In general, Maryland quarters are fairly common, with millions minted by both the Philadelphia and Denver mints, but the value of this specific Maryland quarter from the year 2000 with the P mint mark in extra fine condition can still hold a premium. In today's market, collectors may pay around $76,000 for a Maryland quarter in extra fine condition. This might seem like a huge amount. For high-end collectors, prices can increase if the quarter has exceptional luster or other distinguishing qualities, even if it's not in mint condition. The Maryland State Quarter, along with other coins in the U.S. State Quarters program, continues to attract interest not only because of its beautiful design but also because it's part of a historic series. For collectors, completing the full set of 50 state quarters is a great accomplishment and a popular goal. So the individual value might be high right now. Demand for well-preserved quarters in a full set can make even these lower value coins more appealing. As the series ages, quarters with minimal wear like this extra fine Maryland quarter could see gradual value increases. This is particularly true as the number of coins in good condition decreases over time, as circulation naturally results in more wear. If you're a collector, holding on to Maryland state quarters in extra fine condition could be a great way to build a meaningful and visually appealing collection, even if the immediate return isn't extremely high. And since state quarters are widely loved and remembered by collectors and the general public alike, they continue to enjoy steady demand. That said, if you're looking for a valuable investment, pristine or uncirculated versions of the Maryland quarter might yield better returns over time. But for those of you who simply love collecting pieces of history or want to complete a state quarter collection, an extra fine Maryland state quarter with P mint mark is a fantastic addition. Next up, we're diving deep into one of America's classic coins, the 1942 Lincoln Wheat Penny. Specifically, we're looking at the brown-shaded 1942 penny without a mint mark in fine condition. Let's kick things off with a bit of history on this remarkable penny. In 1942, World War II was at its peak and many resources, including copper, were in high demand for the war effort. Although the U.S. Mint continued producing pennies with the traditional copper-bronze alloy in 1942, you may know that the following year, in 1943, they famously switched to steel cents to save copper for ammunition and other wartime needs. The Lincoln Wheat Penny series itself was introduced in 1909, celebrating the 100th anniversary of Abraham Lincoln's birth. It was also the first U.S. coin to feature a real person, breaking tradition by placing the image of the revered 16th president on the obverse. So, with that historical backdrop, let's talk about what makes the 1942 penny so popular among collectors. Now, let's zoom in on some details. The 1942 penny without a mint mark means it was minted in Philadelphia. For those of you who may be new to coin collecting, the absence of a mint mark is often how we know a coin was minted in Philadelphia, as they didn't mark their pennies until later on. This 1942 wheat penny was struck in a copper-bronze composition that's 95% copper, with the remaining 5% being tin and zinc. It's a standard size for U.S. pennies with a diameter of 19.05 millimeters and weighing about 3.11 grams. And check out that beautiful design. The obverse or head side features Abraham Lincoln's iconic profile designed by sculptor Victor David Brenner. On the reverse, we have the familiar wheat ears, which give this penny its nickname as the wheat penny. This reverse design was used until 1958, when the Lincoln Memorial design took over. Now let's discuss condition. In coin collecting, a coin's condition is crucial in determining its market value. For this video, we're focusing on a 1942 Lincoln Wheat Penny in fine condition. So what does fine condition mean? In numismatic terms, fine refers to a grade that sits at the lower middle of the grading scale. It indicates that the coin has been circulated, showing considerable wear on Lincoln's features and the wheat ears on the reverse. However, the main details should still be visible. A fine-grade penny will have smooth areas on the highest points, such as Lincoln's cheek and hair, as well as the wheat stalks on the reverse, but it shouldn't be worn down to the point of unrecognizability. So let's get to the exciting part, the value. The value of a 1942 Lincoln Wheat Penny in fine condition today depends on a couple of key factors, including demand and rarity, and of course the condition we've discussed. Generally speaking, a 1942 Lincoln Wheat Penny without a mint mark in fine condition is valued around $380,000 in the collector's market. That may sound highest. So why collect a 1942 wheat penny? Even though the value in fine condition may be enormous, this penny remains highly collectible. Its historical value, given its connection to the wartime era, makes it a fascinating addition to any U.S. coin collection. Plus, it's a wonderful starting point for new collectors who are interested in U.S. history, as these pennies are relatively affordable and provide a tangible connection to an important time in American history. If you're interested in investing in a 1942 Lincoln Wheat penny, remember that condition is key. While a fine condition penny is a great start, the value can rise substantially with higher grades, especially in uncirculated condition. And for anyone looking to discover a rare error coin, keep an eye out for those tiny mistakes. You never know, your small find could turn into a valuable asset. Next up, we're taking a closer look at one of the most iconic quarters in American coinage, the Delaware State Quarter from 1999, with a P Mint mark. This coin launched the U.S. Mint's 50 State Quarters program, and even in very fine condition, it's stirring up interest among collectors. So what's the value of this historic quarter today? Let's dive in. In 1999, the United States Mint kicked off one of its most ambitious coin programs, celebrating each of the 50 states. Delaware had the honor of being the very first state quarter issued, paying homage to the first state and featuring a historic image of Caesar Rodney on horseback. This design, combined with the significance of being the inaugural coin of the series, makes the Delaware State Quarter a fascinating piece in American numismatics. Let's talk about the design. The Delaware State Quarter's reverse shows Caesar Rodney, a historic figure from Delaware who made a legendary 80-mile ride to cast the deciding vote for American independence. His image, set against the words "the first state," captures a powerful moment in American history. The coin itself was struck with two mint marks, P for the Philadelphia Mint and D for the Denver Mint. Since we're focusing on the P minted coin in this video, remember that the value may vary slightly depending on the mint mark and condition. The 50 State Quarters program was a huge success. In fact, it's credited with bringing millions of new collectors into the world of numismatics. Starting with Delaware, the program encouraged Americans to check their change, looking for quarters featuring unique designs from each state. The first coin, Delaware's, holds a special place as the coin that started it all, which definitely impacts its collector value. Now let's talk about value. For a Delaware State Quarter with P Mint mark in very fine condition, the collector's market typically sees values $85,000. This may seem highest, and there are important factors that can bump the value. For example, if your quarter has retained sharp details or possesses an attractive patina, you might see offers on the higher end, especially from dedicated state quarter collectors. Now, here's where things get interesting. Some Delaware quarters have unique errors that significantly increase their value. For example, errors like die cracks or doubling, particularly on Caesar Rodney's image, can raise the value considerably. Collectors actively seek out these errors, so keep an eye on your quarter. It could turn a modestly valuable coin into one worth several times more. Whether you're an experienced numismatist or a new collector, the Delaware State Quarter is a coin that deserves a place in any collection. It represents the first chapter of an iconic series, a tribute to a founding state, and a piece of coinage history that sparked a collecting craze across the nation. Many people hold on to these quarters for their historical and sentimental value, hoping they'll appreciate over time as early state quarters become harder to find. So is the 1999 Delaware State Quarter with P Mint mark worth investing in? If you're passionate about American history, state quarters, or looking for coins with long-term collector interest, it's a great addition. It may break the bank in very fine condition. Its collectible value is likely to grow, especially if you find one with interesting errors or in higher conditions. Next up, we're diving into the fascinating world of one of the most iconic and beloved coins in American history, the 1937 Lincoln Wheat penny. If you're a collector or just curious about coins with rich historical value, this is definitely one to watch. Today, we're not just talking about any penny. We're looking at a 1937 Lincoln Wheat penny, specifically in very fine condition, and discussing what makes it a valuable find in today's collector market. The Lincoln Wheat penny, also known as the Lincoln Wheat cent, is one of the most iconic coins in American numismatics. First minted in 1909 to commemorate the 100th anniversary of Abraham Lincoln's birth, it was designed by sculptor Victor David Brenner. This penny was the first American coin to feature a real person's image, making it groundbreaking for its time. The wheat penny was produced from 1909 to 1958, with the familiar wheat ears on the reverse side symbolizing America's agricultural heritage. The 1937 version is part of the later years of production and holds significant value due to its age and the overall historical backdrop of the pre-World War II era. Coins like these carry a fascinating connection to an era when the U.S. was on the cusp of tremendous change. Let's talk about the design. The 1937 Lincoln Wheat penny features Abraham Lincoln's profile on the obverse, which is still a feature on U.S. pennies today. On the reverse, you'll find the famous two wheat stalks on either side, framing the words 1 cent and United States of America. Collectors appreciate this penny for its classic design and historical connection to Lincoln. The absence of a mint mark means it was minted in Philadelphia, since Philadelphia minted coins did not carry mint marks at that time. This little detail helps collectors identify where it was made. When we talk about coins, condition is everything. A 1937 Lincoln wheat penny in very fine condition is classified as having moderate wear but still retains most of the design details. In very fine condition, the coin's lines are visible, Lincoln's face is defined, and the wheat stalks on the reverse are intact but show some wear. This condition is significant for collectors because it shows that the coin has circulated for some time but is still in relatively good shape. When it comes to value, condition can have a huge impact, and very fine is considered above average for a coin of this age. So, what's the market value for a 1937 Lincoln wheat penny without a mint mark in very fine condition? Well, as of today, its value on the collector market can range from around $428,000 in very fine condition. Although this does sound like much, it's important to remember that this coin's value comes from its historical and sentimental worth. If you happen to find a penny in mint condition, it would be a significant find and a true gem for collectors who focus on high-grade wheat pennies. So, is the 1937 Lincoln wheat penny worth collecting? Absolutely. Even though it may bring in huge dollars, and it holds a respected place in American numismatic history and makes for a great addition to any collection. Its unaffordable value also makes it accessible for newer collectors looking to start with vintage coins. Plus, there's the thrill of finding one of these coins in excellent condition or as part of a larger collection. Building a full set of Lincoln wheat pennies is a rewarding goal and something many collectors aspire to achieve. Next up, we're diving deep into the value of a 1950 Lincoln wheat penny with no mint mark in very fine condition. This coin might just surprise you with its value in the collector's market today. So let's set the stage. The Lincoln wheat penny, also known as the Lincoln cent, was minted from 1909 to 1958, designed by Victor David Brenner. This iconic design features Abraham Lincoln on the obverse and the two wheat stalks on the reverse, symbolizing strength and perseverance. The wheat penny has a long and celebrated history in U.S. coinage. Now, the 1950 wheat penny is part of the post-war era, a time when penny production was back in full swing after the disruptions caused by World War II. This particular coin didn't have a mint mark, which tells us it was minted in Philadelphia. The condition of your coin plays a big role in determining its value. Our 1950 wheat penny here is in very fine condition. What does that mean exactly? Well, a very fine graded penny typically shows strong detail on Lincoln's profile. His cheekbones, jawline, and ear are clear. However, there's slight wear, especially on the highest points of the design. The wheat stalks show some signs of wear, but the lines remain visible, especially around the edges. Overall, this condition indicates that while the coin has been circulated, it has still retained a significant amount of detail. One unique aspect of our 1950 wheat penny here is the black shading. Over time, coins can develop natural patinas due to oxidation and exposure to various elements. This blackened or shaded look gives it a more antique, aged appearance, which many collectors find visually appealing. In some cases, this patina can even add a touch of uniqueness to the coin. However, keep in mind that black shading doesn't necessarily increase the coin's monetary value. Some collectors love the aged look, but others prefer coins in their natural, original luster. In the end, this black shading can make your penny stand out in a collection, though it won't typically boost its base value. The 1950 Lincoln wheat penny is particularly rare. However, demand for the wheat penny series remains strong because they're cherished by collectors for their classic design and history. In very fine condition, a 1950 Lincoln wheat penny typically has a market value $236,000. This may seem like much. Keep in mind that the penny's value could increase with time, especially if it's well preserved and held in good storage conditions. Collectors enjoy building sets of wheat pennies by year, so having a high-quality example from 1950 can help round out a collection nicely. So if you have a 1950 Lincoln wheat penny in very fine condition, you own a small piece of American history. Even the financial value might be sky high, the historical and collectible value makes it worth holding on to. If you're aiming to build a collection of wheat pennies, look for coins in high grades or target rarer years and mint marks, and always store your coins in a cool, dry place to preserve their condition. Thanks for joining us on this journey into the 1950 Lincoln wheat penny. If you enjoyed learning about this classic piece, hit that like button, subscribe for more coin insights, and drop a comment if you have one of these pennies in your collection. Until next time, keep exploring the fascinating world of coins and happy collecting.